Oh, hello. Back in May of 2015, the world was first introduced to these new, fully biodegradable and recyclable Magic the Gathering booster packs for Modern Masters 2015. This was a revolutionary design meant to be environmentally friendly, and while the player base largely supported the idea of fully biodegradable, recyclable paper Magic the Gathering booster packs, there was, of course, a problem. Because inelegance aside, the cards within actually had a lot of room. Hear that? To jiggle around, and jiggle around they did in shipping, in transport, just going from the box up to your hand. This led to a huge problem with cards that were likely to, in some cases, very damaged, or at the very least, people opening up their Modern Masters 2015 booster packs. And keep in mind, these were a whopping $9.99 each. So yes, they did have modern cards in them, but that's still an incredible amount to pay for a premium product. And when the damage occurs to, in this case, the rare of my pack, this put Magic the Gathering players at a weird juxtaposition. Obviously, everyone cares about the environment and are aware of just how not so great for the environment tons of booster pack wrappers and non-recyclable plastic can potentially be. But all that being said, nobody wants damaged cards. And unfortunately, this environmentally friendly packaging led to just that, damaged cards. I remember the feeling at the time was, gee, I wish they had tested this more internally before putting a premium product into these booster packs, but also that, yeah, we want to try and make the game more environmentally friendly, the packaging more environmentally friendly. What's next? What's the next iteration? And we continued to wait because since that one attempt, there has been no changes to the typical, not very environmentally friendly booster pack wrappings of Magic the Gathering cards. When were we going to see some new advancement? Well, I've seen a new advancement here, though it's not in Magic the Gathering, it's in Flesh and Blood's newest set. Moving forward, Legend Story Studios will be using paper booster pack wrappers that are both fully recyclable and fully biodegradable, but unlike the Modern Masters 2015 wrappers, these are not a cardboard box, but rather much more akin to the average booster pack wrapper, but just being paper. The cards are held just as snugly as in an average booster pack, and thus they've offered us a booster pack wrapper, just one that is paper. Now, I have a few concerns. While this certainly looks more elegant, or again, it looks from the outside just like another booster pack of any game from Pokemon to Magic the Gathering, I am concerned about a switch to paper. Obviously not for environmental reasons, which is great, but for security reasons and protection of my cards reasons. Namely, if this is just paper, is there a way that nefarious types can see through this to be able to determine the valuable cards within, sell off the packs that don't have anything that is desired, and keep the valuable pulls for themselves? This was actually a problem that Magic the Gathering had with old booster packs going all the way back to the beginning when they were a kind of waxed paper wrap, and they had to change that because in Revised Edition you could fiddle around with the cards and manage to see what was within. I want to test for that here, but I also want to do some stress tests of a sort to see just how damaged the paper might leave the cards within. As far as the wrapping is concerned, though, it's really neat that this is just paper. And so far, well, are we going to end up with an emeritus scolding, or perhaps just awe at what very well may be the future, not just of Flesh and Blood booster wrappers, but of all trading card games? Because if this works, then everyone should adopt it, no? But does it work? Let's find out. So I'm going to open up this booster box of Everfest and take out the new paper packs and do my very best to see if I can see what cards are in them. In order to do so, we will be looking with several sizes of Maglite, from precision to something a little bit more intense, to, of course, the Aperture 120D Mark II for maximum value. But let's just begin by opening up this box. Because, of course, the balance is between the environment and our own security and peace of mind when opening up booster packs. So I'm going to start with just using the large mag light to hold it up at a distance without it wobbling too much. Let's begin with this. And you can see that the light doesn't come through. Now I want to stress, let's go ahead and we're going to push this down. Let's really get it down there just to see if we can even see the light through it. So this is no cards there in that part. A little bit here on the edge, see that there? But that's not where any cards are, where the seal is. But here, where the cards are, boy, you can't even see the light through it. And so if I were to try and do, the old trick is you try and get one of the cards in there. Ugh, people would do this with revised packs of Magic the Gathering, and they just try and position the rare through. And so in Everfest, there's actually 3 cards of interest, and they're the 3 at the back. I'm just going to try and get one. Now, we can't see it at all through there with a light behind it. I'm going to try now, because it's not passing through. So even though this is recyclable, biodegradable paper, there's no transparency. There's no ability, at least with this mag light. Let's now turn on the larger, more intense one. And look at that. Again, I really want to stress all of these cards here. Look. From the top, really not going through. I'm going to try again positioning, but now there's no way that you can see what card is in a pack. Now, did that probably damaged up these cards? And there's a big question about whether or not these paper wrappers by default might be damaging the cards, and we're going to explore that in just a moment. But I do want to acknowledge that I am not an expert thief or even just expert, well, insert curse word here, of a person that would go around trying to figure out what cards are in what packs. And so maybe my methodology is not the best. I'd like to issue a challenge. Let's see video footage of someone taking Flesh and Blood Everfest packs and showing off the card inside. I don't think it can be done. I will issue out that challenge, and if you can, show the card, name the card, open the pack, reveal the card, and do so reliably and regularly, then you shall win. I'm not giving you a prize. That's a terrible thing to discover, but I guess you'll get clout. You'll get clout that you were able to prove what the professor could not. Before we move on to inspecting how much these packs will damage the cards within, or if they will protect them just as well as a plastic wrapper, we of course have the aperture here. And let me we're going to just turn this on. Oh, God! Oh! So here's our booster box of untouched packs. Here's the one I really messed with. So to start, let's just see how bad this looks. Now, these are paper. Listen to that tear. I can see some scuffing already on this front common. Keep in mind, I was really digging my nails in there, which you don't want to do. I'm going to do several tests on this. Let's go through these cards. Yep, look at that. I mean, again, obviously, there would be some damage. Now, the nice thing, though, is that with the non-commons being in the back, well, this is why Pokemon puts them in the middle. Ooh. Hello. As a mechanologist player, I'm really glad that We got some new mechanologist cards. Now these don't have, despite all of that I was doing, much in the way of damage. So here's the first thing. The most common thing is this, and people have actually noted that I go like this when I open booster packs, and the reason I do this, well, I don't do it that hard. Gentle touch is all you need these days. But the reason I do that is with regular plastic wrappers, I don't want the cards anywhere near where I'm yanking. Now, plastic wrappers are very hard to get open. In fact, new Magic the Gathering packs have a pre-cut slit, and even that doesn't work very well. What's nice about these paper wrappers is check this action out. Just kind of peel it off the top. But I was just doing that shaking to see if that's going to maybe cause any damage along the edge. Let's see. I see 0 damage from that. No, there's nothing from that. I'm actually pretty impressed that in that first pack, which I was really rough on, it was just the first couple cards that really got hit by it. Ooh. The foiling process on these. Talisman of Warfare. Sorry, getting caught up in the... It's not my fault that I love mechanologist cards so much. All right. So let's do another more... Again, if you were to take those Modern Masters 2015 ones, this is what damaged them. Because they were in like a large miniature cardboard box, of course. And so that's really messing it up. Now, this is not ideal. There is some friction inside. But what I want to see is, am I going to have damage from that? Like, that's maybe simulating shipping. Keep in mind, these also were shipped to me from New Zealand. I see no marks. I see no marks here. Nah. Because the real issue with those Modern Masters 2015 packs was that there was all that space. And these are no more space than a regular booster pack, really. This feels, well, it feels like paper-ish, but like a thick paper. It actually has a better feel, in my opinion, than the old Fallen Empires revised booster packs. It's easy to open, which I like. There was concern about resealing. I don't think so. So let's try this here. I'm going to go like this. Now, this isn't me jerking around. It's me kind of doing this, like, you know, okay, Not going to cause any damage. Let's find, I'm going to push it out like this. Oh, don't do that. Oh, I see a nick. Kinda. Yeah, I see a little nick there. Do you see that on camera? I caused a little nick on my Reek of Corruption. I hope the camera's picking that up. And the Reek of Corruption, luckily, is a common. Nothing else seemed to get hit. That's an extreme example, obviously. Yep, there's a teeny little nick up there. I'll never forget one time I purchased for myself a very expensive single, and the person had taped fanatically the top loader, and in attempting to get it out of the top loader, my nail went in and did just that, only instead of to a common, it was to... Oh, Bad Beats! What a great name for a card. Bad Beats! It was indeed... Oh, look at that. I'm sorry, I'm getting caught up in the foiling of these. It was indeed Bad Beats for me, and I believe it was a Vendilion Click. I was so upset. Pick a card, any card. This set has got such a fun theme. All right, how about this as a test? There's a few packs out of here. Let's just... Oh, it's bad shipping. Bad shipping. Ah, bad shipping. Well, let's find out. Let's find out what bad shipping does with these paper wrappers. Keep in mind, some of this stuff would probably damage plastic wrappers. I see a tiny little white. Sometimes that appears though. Now these look pretty clean to me. Ooh. Oh, look at that art. That's cool. Ooh, Thunderquake. Let's see if any more of these. I like that little pull-off. I do. I think what we're looking at, to be honest with you, is the future. Might there be more revisions as time goes on? Yes. Though, honestly, as far as things are concerned, I think this is pretty solid as is. But, well, there might be... Oh, look at the way, like, the lines on the grid. For some reason, I feel like this is, I don't know, maybe it's just the aesthetic and the way it works with the foiling, but I really, the foiling is popping more for me. I never thought to ask, I'll have to ask, if they updated and revised the foiling, or if that's just me liking this aesthetic of this set. But boy, that, or me just being happy Mechanologist is back. I'm so prejudiced for my own little pet decks. But what I'm not prejudiced towards is the fact that these cards look fine despite my doing all that. And you need to be careful with your cards and packs anyway. That's a given. That's a given, even in plastic wrap. The issue is paper inherently damaging it. And if those had been the Modern Masters ones, yeah, they would all be specced up. Because from that Modern Masters, they all had little scuffs. What's worse, they had little scratches because they were loose in the pack. That insanity. Macho grande. So I'm not 100% up to date on the lore in Flesh and Blood, but I guess there are multiple languages, and one of them is Spanish, because Macho Grande. I guess I need to check up on the lore about if there are other Earth languages. That's an interesting question. Yeah, those, boy, Modern Masters 2015 packs, what a nightmare. It was the equivalent of if you took like a Dragon Shield box and halfway filled it with cards that were unsleeved, and then just, you know, shook it around in transport for a while. Because they've been in transport just to get to your store, let alone to get from your store to your house. Smashing good time. Emeritus scolding! Prof's warning. Oh, this set's cool. So, I was very sensitive about making this video because, despite my being I review cardboard and cardboard accessories reputation, I don't feel like I am an expert so much as a casual consumer. So testing a deck box to see if the deck box holds up is, I'm not using any advanced technique. High roller! What a fun thing. I'm not using any, like, some people have suggested, bravo! That I get things like calipers and apply predetermined pressure. And I don't really know how to work that equipment or understand it. I just play with a deck box, shake it around, use it extremely, and see if something happens. And that's what I do. So for this, I was a little nervous. Like, I don't know how to cheat an old revised pack and see if it's got a dual land in it or not. I'm not a scumbag, so I don't know how to do that. Ooh. But I feel pretty confident saying that, at the very least, these paper boosters don't have initial problems. I would see something, like, again, I would see more than just, here we go. I see a tiny white speck, and you can see that. Again, I don't even know if that's picking up in camera. Zoom in! But you're going to find that on some cards from regular wrappers because of a little thing called friction. Ideally, I should have plastic gloves on now if you want that sort of perfect minty mintness. Ooh, Blade Runner. I hear that's a good movie. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list, though. I'm getting very close to watching Blade Runner. I'm bored. I want something on, and I hear Blade Runner's good. So it's moving up on the list. So yeah, I guess the challenge, the Tolarian challenge, is go out, buy Everfest, and before you crack it open, see if you can see what's in it. Test it out. Upload a video. I don't have any vested interest here, and if anything, if I could have shown you, I was talking to my cameraman / editor Nick and saying it would have been amazing if I could have seen the card, because we would have been able to ruin this whole company. Wouldn't that have been a sensational video? Imagine if I could have... Ooh, Islander. Oh, so beautiful. Imagine if I could have shown you that I could look at what the rares are in each of these, call it, open it, show it. It would have meant the entire set was a bust. It would have meant the only safe way to buy is a sealed booster box. I would have got 1 million views, and I would have ruined this whole company. And in the end of the day, that's what every YouTuber wants, is to destroy. No, I'm just joking. I actually really like the company, and I would have felt bad, but I would have done it because someone else would have if I didn't. Like, that's a stupid mentality. Well, I wouldn't want anyone to know. I knew everyone would know. I'd want to get the scoop. And I'd want to present my fair evaluation. Look at that. Beautiful. Pick a card, any card again. Rune Blood Incantation again. So, there would have been no good covering it up. But what I can't cover up is my own incompetence. So, someone might say in a response video, do you remember response videos? Hey, Prof doesn't know what he's talking about. Here's how you look. And maybe they're right on that, but I doubt that they're going to be able to see these cards. We did some other testing with another box. Yes, I got 2. One for me to test and one for me to film with. And we really couldn't see through it. Look at that. Beautiful. Woo! Genus, what you need. Genus or genus? Oh, look at this. Right there at the tip of genus. Look at that. Do you see that? Oh, boy. So, the question is, and I don't know that I can answer it with a sample size of 1.5 boxes. Again, I'm not trying to cover up anything. Is that a cause of the paper wrapping? Or is that what happens to cards sometimes? Which it does happen to cards sometimes. We've gone through a lot of cards, though. And I think that if this was happening regularly because of this, we'd be seeing that more. That's the first one we saw in a while, and I've been looking pretty closely. Look at that. No, I just did that. Look at that. I don't even need to go through the pack. Nothing. I think, unfortunately for Genus there, that just happens. Or maybe it did happen from some of my mishandling, but the vast majority of cards were still protected as they would have been in plastic wrappers. I suppose if I wanted to be really good about it, I would do a companion opening of a Magic the Gathering or Pokemon or both or Digimon box and do the same shaking, but I'm far too lazy to do that. That's why we're issuing the Tolarian Challenge. If you can show off that you can see a card in a Flesh and Blood Everfest pack, you will receive tenure here at Tolarian Community College. Tenure at Tolarian Community College is worthless. You get a 5% certificate off Bed Bath & Beyond, which is exactly what you get as a real college professor these days. I'm just kidding. You don't get tenure as a real college professor these days. Potion of Luck. I skipped through my foil too fast there. That one it doesn't show off as clearly. And there's another Emeritus Scolding. I love that card name. But yeah, you know, we're not seeing any of these. Look at this. It's all in really good shape. So I also feel confident in saying this. This is going to be final conclusion here. I want to get through these packs. But in my preliminary testing, and I'm going to choose my language very carefully. You can put this, don't put this on the screen. In my preliminary testing, I have found that these foils rock, that the paper wrapping T-bone on Everfest Flesh and Blood packs, and I assume this is on all packs going forward, does not pose a security risk in my initial testing. I've also found, in my initial testing, that the paper Everfest packs do not damage disproportionately to plastic their contents. And I do know, from opening up a lot of Modern Masters 2015 booster packs, that it was every pack had something. Some were better than others. There were a few that were fine, but I remember that booster box game, and it was Scuff City. Sad, especially when it hit the rare/mythic. And this box of Everfest is better overall condition than a carefully handed box of Modern Masters 2015. I wonder if that Emeritus was going to be my preview card. They offered me a preview card and there was a scheduling conflict. And it came down to, do I scrutinize and potentially expose your paper booster packs? Or do I get to show off a card? And I said, give the card away and let me scrutinize your packs. And I said to him too, good on them too. That was my first, twin twisters. That was my first sign, as I said, look, I'm going to scrutinize these, and if I can see through them, I'm going to show that off. And I said, have at it. They said, have at it. We welcome that. And I said, oh, I bet they scrutinized it behind the scenes themselves. I can't get over Macho Grande. I love it so much. I love Spanish language cards. I don't know why I don't speak Spanish. Isn't that a strange thing? That is that grid in foil. You know, the, oh boy. But I always really liked Spanish language cards. We're down to the last few. By the way, if you are interested in learning more about Flesh and Blood, I recently put out a Flesh and Blood sealed video about how to do sealed and draft. There's a new multiplayer Flesh and Blood format that our friends over at Red Zone Rogue, and I think the Spike Feeders did one on it too, have been showing off. That has got to be the most beautiful card yet. Yeah, I know it's a common. I don't care. Oh, and speaking of commons, there's a common. Ooh, all right. That's pretty. Pretty. Arcane Lantern. Very lovely. Very lovely. So there's a commoner format for Flesh and Blood that is, I'm hearing out of all of them, I haven't played it yet, I'm hearing it really fixes a lot of some people's concerns with certainly Classic Constructed. Blitz is the go-to format these days, but some people have issue with Blitz, and I hear Commoner is taking care of that. I got to try it out. Good thing Red Zone Rogue is 10 minutes from me, so I got something to play with. And also, I hear the multiplayer Commander-like format in Flesh and Blood is a lot of fun. I'll link if that was Armada's, I apologize, dear friend. Whoever did it, I'll link it. Maybe they both did it. I'll link both of them in this video's description. But the multiplayer Flesh and Blood format is taken off. And then, of course, Commoner. But I did a video, me, on, sealed, which I think solves a lot of issues because everybody just has the same buy-in. It's none of this, oh, I have the expensive equipment, or I have to get the expensive equipment, or I've got a bad deck positioned in the matchup. We're all at the same starting point. You open up your packs, you build your deck. I've always liked sealed to begin with. Wax on. I'm digging the foiling on these commons just because look at that. It's like the whole sky is lit up. Knick-knack, bric-a-brac. I like when a set can have fun with names like that. So I'll link all those videos in this video's description. Here we go, our last pack. Oh, I should have done something extraordinary. Anyway, listen, that's my testing. It's average. Take the Tolarian Community College Challenge and you show me. Maybe I'm wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm a professor. No, wait, that means I'm supposed to not admit when I'm wrong. Even bigger than that. Wow. Just could sit and look at that all day. All day. High striker. And high roller. Wow, there we go. Nice way to end it. High striker and high roller. Will that be you? Is the new booster pack packaging from Everfest perfect? I don't know that I can rule on that. Like I said, it's definitely not a security risk, at least initially from my inspection, nor a safety risk in terms of the cards within. Maybe more scrutinous, thorough testing by experts at how to see the cards inside of a paper pack will reveal more. But I can say this, I'm glad they're trying. I'm glad they're taking that risk. We were all very surprised, not at the problems of the Modern Masters 2015 booster pack, but at the fact that Wizards of the Coast gave up after that year and never tried an environmentally sustainable pack again. Here, we see a new company just starting to take off. They're actually doing quite well. We've got a new fest coming, I believe, to wherever it says on the screen, and many more calling events taking place, and they're taking a risk here. What if I had found that here's an entire booster box, and you know the best thing about this is being able to do that. What a good feeling. No, it may not be perfect, but at least they're taking steps in the right direction. I hope very much that they continue to work towards the best, most environmentally sustainable packaging that they can, and that, as they seem to have done in terms of their Grand Prix circuit and other competitive events, other companies wake up and follow suit and follow Flesh and Blood into the future.